The parents of the student killed, Michael Gatto, have drafted a bill they believe might have saved his life. It's called Michael's Law. Now, it would force liquor licensees to carry insurance and get more training for employees.
Now, they'll be presenting it to Georgia lawmakers this session. WJCL's Nick Otario talked with the Gattos and joins us now with more on this. Nick.
Well, we weren't able to talk to them in person since they live in upstate Georgia, but over the phone we were able to talk to his father, Michael. Now, this legislation comes just 4 months after Gatto was killed. While his parents are still grieving, they didn't want to sit back and let something else happen to another family. The sting of losing his son still hurts Michael Gatto.
That's the biggest and most difficult part of this is it was preventable.
Last summer, just after starting college, GSU student Michael Gatto was beaten to death at Rude Rudy's bar. Instead of sitting back, Gatto's father drafted an underage drinking and negligent bar owner's bill.
And I'm not talking about just Statesboro, it's everywhere.
In the year before Gatto was killed, police documents show officers were called to Rude Rudy's 52 times, with several calls involving fights. Despite this, Rude Rudy's continue to operate. And now Statesboro Mayor Jan Moore says it's time to take a stance on how bars operate.
Our ordinance is not working. It did not work in the case of Michael Gatto.
Gatto's proposal is called Michael's Law. Any business that sells alcohol would have to carry insurance. Bouncers, servers, and bartenders would have to go through training and must be 21. It would also make licensees go through training. All things Gatto says will be addressed in this legislation, which Gatto believes had it been in place before, Rude Rudy's would have been shut down and his son would still be around.
Yes, without a doubt, if this legislation had been in place, my son would be alive today.
Statesboro is making changes. The ordinance is being reviewed, and since the incident, a number of warnings and suspensions have been handed out. But Mayor Moore believes the state needs to help municipalities.
It is a privilege to have an alcohol license. It is not a right.
As for the Gattos, they hope this bill will help other families.
And we're hoping that this legislation will help him, help his legacy.
The next legislative session begins next week. The Gattos plan to attend it at some point, talk to lawmakers to try and get this thing passed. Now, as for Statesboro's alcohol ordinance, we asked Mayor Jan Moore when we can expect to see something new. She says hopefully by the end of February, March. The goal is to have it in place by July.
All right. Stay tuned. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.